Clover Health might be on a little bit of a downtrend, but that might not be lasting for much longer. Let's talk about where I think the stock could be heading, some news that I think is really important to read about the stock, and a variety of other information. Make sure to watch to the very end of this video so you don't miss any of my analysis and what we're going to be reading today. Also, make sure to like the video and subscribe. But other than that, guys, let's get right into this video. Alrighty, guys, here we are with Clover Health Investments. We're sitting at $8.05 a share at the time making this video, down about 6.61%, unfortunately, on the day, which is, of course, the last trading session at the time making this video, which is July 23rd. That was the last trading session, and this video is being made on July 25th. Now, this video will likely go up a day or two after this is being filmed, so just so you're aware of what's going on. Of course, currently, there may be some changes in price and everything like that, but again, the news and all of the technicals I'm going to talk about today are pretty much the same, so it doesn't really matter. But either way, let's get into a little bit. Overall price not too hot recently, and of course we're going to get into more of the price action here in the later part of the video on Thinkorswim. But I wanted to talk about this article, and this is what I've been saying and screaming from the rooftops every time I talk about Clover Health on this channel and in a video, and that's 3 reasons Clover Health's future may be even brighter than its past. Well, I'm not screaming that specifically, but that's what this article is about. I thought it was a nice segue. But what I'm screaming about is that this is a growth stock. And I think a lot of people forget that this stock was once a heavily traded stock by growth investors, people who wanted to invest in stocks that ideally will exceed or outperform major indexes for growth. And this is one stock that a lot of people had their money in before there was unfortunately a huge, well, I guess not unfortunate to people who made money, but there was a huge retail run up and kind of overinflated the value of the stock, in my opinion. And unfortunately now a lot of growth investors are kind of still sitting there, and a lot are either buying more or holding it back. But the thing is, this is a long-term play in my mind. This is something that I'm going to hold for probably about 6 months to a year, maybe longer than that, or whenever I feel the valuation of this company finally makes sense and I think it is a good time to sell. But let's read into why Clover Health has some good key points in the future and what they could be doing. Clover Health has been on the radar of the meme stock crowd lately. Shares have a high short interest and have been the target of a recent short seller report. Of course, they're also down 50% since coming public through Chamath's SPAC in January. This said that there are reasons the company could differentiate itself in the crowded Medicare insurance market. Let's dig into 3 of those and highlight why they may help Clove. Adjustments in Medicare quality ratings. In 2007, the Centers of Medicare and Medicaid Services started using a ratings program to evaluate Medicare Advantage plans. The scores, ratings of 1 through 5 stars, are determined by 47 different metrics across 6 categories. Each area is weighted by priority. Plans that achieve 4 or 5 stars get a bonus payment from the government. In 2021, these payments will total $11.6 billion. Management has been working to get these additional factors incorporated into the scoring system. One way that it is gaining traction in the Health Equity Summary Score, or HES. Early evidence has shown that Clover performs exceptionally well in this measure. The CMS Office of Minority Health has been studying the issue and could modify the rating system in the near future. With a current 3-star rating and more than 66,000 members, Clover could see a nearly $30 million bonus if CMS makes the change. So that's obviously really awesome news. Of course, more cash flow into them, and of course, higher quality service, which is what we always like to see. Number 2, direct contracting opens up a much larger market. A few years ago, the Center of Medicare and Medicaid Innovation announced it would launch a risk-sharing payment model as a way to incentivize lower expenses and improve quality for members. In April, it announced the initial 53 organizations that would participate. Clover Health made the cut, and the initial 65,000 members it brought in nearly double the total lives it covered. Management believes that they have access to as many as 200,000 of these lives through its providers. It's a good example of how software allows organizations to scale with little additional investment. The company has quickly rolled its Clover Assistant out to 1,800 additional providers across 8 states of the program. Management points to that advancement as a way to grow $800 billion Medicare market and beyond. So that's obviously really great news. Clover Health not only made the cut for this very exclusive kind of private thing that they're putting together, but also too, they have a lot of lives under management, or a lot of people that they can help out. And let's get into number 3, a shifting site of care. Most of the Medicare members who are touched by Clover are seen through primary care physicians, but not everyone is healthy enough to visit a doctor's office. To serve those patients, the company has Clover Home Care, a Clover Assistant powered tool that facilitates home-based primary care. It's a growing market overall. Spending on home healthcare is projected to grow more than 8% annually over the next half decade, reaching nearly 300 billion. These complex patients typically account for an outsized portion of overall medical expenses in any patient population. Controlling those costs is a key to profitably managing an at-risk payment program. In most recent earnings calls, the company said it would data showing the Clover home care tool reduced hospitalizations, emergency room visits, and skilled nursing facility stays. If true, that will be a big advantage for a high-cost segment. It could mean Clover can profitably manage patients its competitors can't. So let me give my thoughts on this, and let's get into these 3 points here and just kind of summarize everything we just read and give you why it's a little bit more important. So the 3 things that it's talking about, right, is overall, I would say the overarching theme here is their patient care connection, right? The fact that not only are they growing exponentially in connections that they're making with their patients as far as getting more lives and more people under plans, but also expanding those plans to not only be higher quality and to be rated by professional bureaus and organizations that do the rating, the ratings for these plans. They're doing that exceptionally well, and they're continuing to grow that at a fast pace. They're also continuing to, of course, expand into different states. And overall, they're just trying to make healthcare a little bit more accessible to the average everyday person like you and I, especially for older, senior citizens and older people who might not have, easy access to things like, certain technology factors, or they might not understand necessarily how to do that. Of course, the traditional way of going to the doctor's office is easier for them. However, Clover bridges that gap because not only does it allow a simplified way of getting into these, this medical insurance, and trying to bridge that gap, but also it's allowing senior citizens to not have to go to these offices where oftentimes it can be a little bit more dangerous because, of course, there are sick people oftentimes in these places that they will have to either come in contact with or come close to. And that can oftentimes lead to a lot of bad things like ailments and diseases spreading and things like that. And again, I think what Clover is doing is a very good thing. And this is something I always bring up, guys, because Clover Health in my mind is still a growth stock. This is still a growth play that I'm still waiting for the valuation to make sense on. And as more news comes out, more catalyst comes out, and once this kind of retail phase kind of staggers out and starts to kind of flatline a little bit, I think we're going to see some very, very solid growth from Clover Health over the next couple of quarters and maybe even towards the end of this year. But let's get into the price action real quick here just to top this video off. Here we are with the 1 minute, 1 day chart. This is what we saw in the last trading session for Clover Health. Pretty stagnant overall, nothing crazy as far as moves go. We'll pull out to the 180-day chart. Original run up here with retail sentiment and, of course, large pullback. As you can see here, what's interesting, the RSI, which I like to use to establish my long-term swing or even just long-term positions in general, spiked below here, the 30 level, quite a bit back here. But again, it's traded much lower since the RSI has traded that low. Sitting at $8.03 right now, we're approaching or almost at a all-time low kind of level. And the RSI is starting to kind of wean that way as well. I like to buy when the RSI is very below 30, right? When it's buried below 30, right? When it gets a little bit below where we see these blue lines confirm that. And of course, that's not happening right now, but I don't think that is very far off from happening with this continued momentum. And then once that happens, hopefully we can see a reverse in the trend and Clove can start steadily growing into the end of this year. But guys, other than that, that is pretty much it for Clover Health. I'll over your thumbs up today. Please like the video, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video like this. Check out our WeBull link if you guys want to pick up some free stocks with WeBull. It's a great brokerage and we personally use it. Check out our Patreon link if you guys want to join our private Discord. But other than that, guys, that is all I have for you guys today. I'm Kyle with Finance Bro. Take it easy.